Now, from the University of Okoboji, it's Okoboji Broadcast with Jeff Thee.
Welcome to Okoboji Broadcast, everybody. I'm Jeff Thee, and it is a Wednesday. There's history afoot, and I'm here at the Dickinson County Museum, where it is afoot, and also afoot with me. I must like that word today, Mary. Afoot. It's afoot.
I don't even know how to respond to that, Jeff.
You know, most people don't.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're here. I'm glad you're here because we have something happening at the museum on Saturday that we have never done before.
Okay.
But you might be seeing more of if this is as highly successful as I think it's going to be.
Okay. What are we doing?
We are doing a family fun day here at the museum.
Okay.
And we're going to be focusing on life in the prairie.
Oh.
Here in Dickinson County. You know, like Little House on the Prairie sorts of stuff.
Yes, that's right.
Right here. And we happen to have...
Look here behind us, a covered wagon.
A covered wagon.
Yeah.
So this is going to play a big part in our day. We will be telling stories inside the wagon. Kids will be able to be in the wagon.
Oh.
We will... I love to wonder with kids about the covered wagon.
Yeah.
And just think about it, Jeff. Just think about it. If you're a little kid, say yay tall, and your folks, you were living out east someplace,
Sure.
in, let's say 1850 or so.
Yeah.
Your folks come to you one day and say, Jeffy, Jeffy, guess what we're going to be doing?
There's traveling afoot.
I'm not even going to respond.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We are going to go on an adventure. We are going to head out west. We hear that there is really good land out there and lots of opportunities for us to grow as a family and to do really good stuff together. And so we are going to head out west, and we're going to take a covered wagon.
Yeah.
And it's a long ways out there.
Yeah, well, think about it. You're talking about you're driving to Chicago here soon.
Yes.
About 8 hours or more.
Going 80 miles an hour?
Going 80 miles an hour. Now imagine starting from the East Coast, covered wagon with a team of horses.
Not a team of horses. They didn't use horses.
What did they use?
Oxen.
Ah.
Can you guess why? Stronger.
Oh, okay.
Bulkier. And had more endurance.
Yeah. Well, you'd have coming across the prairie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting on roads and pulling a wagon.
No.
So
It was oxen.
One oxen, two, do you?
I would say most generally two, but if you only had one, you had only one, you know. But think about it, Jeff. Jeffy. So you're footing and I'm Jeffing. Think about it. Okay, you're this kid. Parents say you're going to do this, and your mom says, hey, you know what? You can choose one thing of your very own to bring with you.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it into like, wow, you get to choose one thing to bring.
One thing.
What would you have brought?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, we're talking. And, of course, people didn't have the clothing choices that we do now. And of course, you're taking provisions.
Lots.
You know, lots of, so yeah, there's not a lot of room.
No Casey's.
Yeah, no Casey's.
No Casey's.
Yeah, as a kid, and I had one thing. It's like when you ask yourself the question, okay, if the house catches on fire,
what would you choose?
What would you grab?
Right. Same sort of thing. And this is probably a conversation that lots of families had back in the day. And when I have school kids here, we always sit in the wagon and we have this wondering session. And this is the question I always ask. And I would say that probably at least 3/4 of the time, the kids would choose a stuffed animal. Something like that.
You know, and that's what I was thinking as a child, a toy. Or
after they get beyond their iPad and whatever. But when you think about it, these covered wagons were not very big. This wagon that we have here, in all honesty, is not an original wagon. It was built for the Milford Centennial in about 1981.
Okay.
And so it's a replica. It's a nice replica.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, I'm glad it's not the real deal because since it's a replica, I can invite kids to join me up in it.
Right.
But this one's actually bigger than most covered wagons. We've learned that most covered wagons were about 4 by 8 feet.
Okay.
So, one of the things we're going to be doing at our Family Fun Days on the Prairie is we are going to be creating just on the floor a space of 4 by 8 feet. And we're going to have a whole bunch of things that families probably would have brought with them.
Right.
On the Prairie. Things like a feather bed, a rocking chair, barrels that they would have had flour in or dried meat, stuff like that.
Yes.
I'm even going to bring out the pump organ.
I was going to say.
Because folks, some did bring their pump organs, or they call them melodeons, with them. And the task for the kids is going to be, okay, this is the size that you have to put all of your stuff in.
Yeah.
Is it going to work?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really fun.
Now, height-wise, is that about right?
I think it's probably about right. So
Okay.
I have seen a couple of actual photographs of the interior of real wagons when real people were coming out west, and like there would be lamps hanging from the pieces of wood. I can't think of the word. The struts or whatever they're called. But it would have been just packed. Absolutely packed. When I was a kid, I thought that folks in covered wagons would have slept in the wagons. For some reason I had visualized this big open wagon and the folks would sleep there, kind of like sleeping in a tent or something. But no, there was so much stuff that there wasn't room for the family to sleep in the wagons.
And I was just thinking about every John Wayne movie I've ever seen, or Little House on the Prairie, and and everybody's up on the wagon, and
but probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
They would have probably slept underneath.
Wow.
Yeah. The other thing is they probably wouldn't have ridden in the wagon, other than for the person driving, maybe somebody sitting next to it.
Yeah. But if you had a family of 5 or something.
The kidlets would have been walking most of the way.
That's a slow go.
And think also, at least when they hit Iowa, if not before, they would have been in true Prairie. And I don't know about you, but we had prairies on our farm that we had reconstructed, and one of the main grasses was big blue stem. Big blue stem, 6 to 8 feet tall.
Sure.
Okay, now you're a kid that's about this high, walking in big blue stem along a trail. What are you going to see?
Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot besides the big blue stem, right?
I'd almost walk behind the wagon, so at least you had a...
Yeah, well, and there were trails, but still, the idea, I think that actually living in a covered wagon is different than what, at least I thought it was as a kid. And that's...
The hardships we're not aware of that they had to have had.
Exactly. And eating dried meat all the time, or just in the scarcity of food. Many people would have brought a cow with them, so that they would have had milk.
Right.
And they could have churned the butter just by setting the crock of cream in the wagon. Make butter that way.
I'm sure, probably hunted game along the way, and whatever.
Gotten water in the creeks, things, but
any idea how, even an estimate of how long from the East Coast? Are we talking months, a couple months, 3 months?
That is a really good question, Jeff.
Because I've heard you talk about, when they, from even Fort Dodge to here.
I know that to go to Fort Dodge, which is 2 hours now by car, going to Fort Dodge, which was the nearest place to get provisions, literally the nearest place. It was a 2-day wagon ride.
Okay, and there's 120 miles right there, 2 days by wagon. Whatever it is out to.
And people also, they'd take the train as far as the train would go west, and then get on a wagon, so, but still, it was a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It was a big deal. And what we're hoping to do with our Family Fun Days on the Prairie is to kind of give families a taste of what this journey would have been like.
Yeah.
In addition to doing the stuff with a wagon, we're going to be playing games that Pioneer kids would have probably played outdoors. It's supposed to be a lovely day.
Yes.
We'll be having some stories. We will be all the kids will get to make covered wagons.
Oh.
Yeah.
How cool.
And they're going to have a snack of homemade crackers and homemade butter.
Ooh.
Maybe I'm telling too much here. And I think it's going to be just really cool. And when it's all over, we're going to have a little photo booth set up with some costumes like this lovely hat around the wagon area so that families can get their pictures taken as pioneers.
Neat.
It's going to be very fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's this Saturday.
Saturday, October 12th, this Saturday.
And what time?
At 10 o'clock. And
do you need pre-registering or anything, or just
it would be helpful if you're on Facebook. We've created an event for this.
Okay.
It would be helpful if you'd say, yes, I'm interested, or yes, I'm going, just so we have some idea of how many are coming. We've had a lot of interest in it.
Good.
We've got a lot of people that are interested. So that would be helpful, or give us a call and say that you're coming. But if you don't, that's fine. Just come along. It'll be a fun day.
Yeah.
And we do require that kids have an adult with them.
Sure.
And then the adults will be participating also.
It's going to be a fun family event.
It
Yes.
really is. We love having kids and families here.
Yeah.
And some of us got to thinking, and this is kind of the what moment. We want to invite kids and families in, but in the off season, we're not open at any time that families and kids can come.
Right.
So this is our experiment, and if this goes as well as we think it will go, we'll be open more on Saturday mornings.
Wonderful.
For kids and families to come in.
Fantastic. Well, looking forward to this Saturday.
Yeah, well, Jeffy, you can come too.
Does Jeffy have to bring an adult with him?
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
It's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
No.
All right, wonderful, Mary. Well, thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah. And just another note coming up, we've got a History Lives presentation coming up the first part of November, and it is going to be Templar Park and also a talk about the Masons. We know Templar Park is about the Masons.
Yeah.
Now we'll find out who the Masons are and what they do.
Very good. All
Yes.
right. Cool. Exciting stuff coming up here at the Dickinson County Museum. History comes alive here, my friends. Our thanks to Mary. Our thanks to you for watching us right here on Okoboji Broadcast. Okoboji Broadcast from the studios at historic Arnold's Park Amusement Park is brought to you in part by West Wealth Management, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services. Advisor Jan Spielman, AJ Spielman, and Erica Wachholz. The headquarters of the University of Okoboji is at the Three Sons, open Monday through Saturday 10 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 4. Bank Midwest, dream big, plan wisely, live well. Lakes Regional Healthcare and Avera Partner. Beck Engineering in Spirit Lake. Be Radiant Laser Skin Studio in the Okoboji Plaza in Okoboji.